Richmond VFL team had another pretty good win yesterday against the Swans. 5-point winners, 8-16-64 to 9-5-59 down at Beaconsfield, which we will touch on shortly. But yeah, look, a 5-point win, that's a couple of wins in a row. The game, honestly though, the game should have been almost put beyond doubt in the first quarter. Again, similar to the senior side, inaccuracy in front of goal was actually the big hurt factor. And it should have been a much bigger lead, but probably a bit blustery down at Beaconsfield compared to the MCG. But yeah, the boys just didn't have their kicking boots on. And to Sydney's credit, they clawed their way back in later on in the game and almost overrun them at the end. So well done to the Tiger boys for standing up and holding on. 4 points is 4 points. But taking a look at some of the leading disposal getters, Lockie Street led the way for Richmond with 31 touches, 9 clearances in a super impressive effort. Harry Scott, 25 disposals, 6 tackles, 2 clearances. So the first best AFL listed player was Jacob Blight. This is about the third week in a row now that he's registered, I think, either 20 disposals or very, very close to 20 disposals and a ton of marks as well. So 24 disposals, 12 marks. He was really, really good again. I truthfully don't know what much else he could be doing to put his hand up to play. He would have to be the most informed defender, maybe in our side. I mean, Miller's going pretty well at AFL level, but Blight's been doing really good things at VFL. He had a couple of small turnovers later in the game, but yeah, turnovers happen from time to time. But from a defensive standpoint, the way he reads the ball, and this is why I know it might not fully justify it, but in my mind, this is why I wanted him to come in for either Fall or Sims to play in the forward line. Or we could have kept Campbell Gray there. Having someone of his maturity in body size, his ability to read the flight of the ball, we could do with another marking presence up front to help Lynch, because otherwise Lynch is going to be cooked by the end of the year. As much as I love Fall and Sims, which will be a separate video, they're just not able to compete hard enough for long enough, and it's just part of their age and development. But yeah, Blight can't do much more than what he's doing, to be honest. Trezise was next best AFL listed with 19 disposals, 7 tackles, 1 clearance. Morris Rioli, 17 disposals, 2 tackles, 2 clearances, 1 goal. He copped a little bit of a knock early in the game and sat off for a period of time on the bench as well. So I'm not sure how hampered he was. He wasn't always playing in the midfield like he was last week, where he did some really good numbers, but 17 disposals is still actually a pretty good outcome given his time on ground would have been substantially lower given he copped that knock early. El Noor, 17 disposals, 9 marks, 3 tackles. I can't believe he didn't get picked up in the mid-season draft. I would love to have him. I don't know whether he would actually fit on our list in terms of another defender, but I would have thought for sure someone would take a look at him. My man, Jasper Alger, 16 disposals, 5 marks, 5 tackles, 1 clearance, 3 goals, 2. And one of them was about a 45-metre shot on the boundary line from a set shot, nailed it. He got a Joe the Goose out the back, and I can't remember the third one, but he, again, similar to Jacob Blight, is really bashing the door down for selection. And, you know, I've been saying it for a few weeks now that he's going to be a bit of a point of difference up forward for us, where he's actually an offensive threat, whereas I don't feel Steely Green has been an offensive threat outside of the GWS game last week. And it just depends on what we value more. My other thing as well, we've recently been playing Jack Ross a bit more as a half forward, similar to what we've been doing with Sonzi, to be honest. And both Ross and Sonzi do look a bit lost when playing that half forward role, which we've spoken about plenty of times before. But yet we've got a specific half forward kicking goals on a weekly basis in the VFL. Why not put the half forward in the half forward role at AFL level and see what transpires? And he's a strong marker as well, Jasper. Plays taller than what he is, and it's got to be time soon. It's got to be time. Tyler Young, 14 disposals, 4 marks, 2 tackles. McKelty Lafau, 13 disposals, 1 mark, 6 tackles, 5 hit-outs, and 4 clearances, and a goal. Now, what I noticed about McKelty's game, it was the first time I've really seen this. So there was a large period of play for maybe a quarter and a half or 2 quarters that he was up around the contest, not as the ruckman, but as around stoppages as a rover, essentially. Just a big body midfielder trying to smash through packs and break it open. So we were using Fawcett and Bauer as our key forwards, And I just guess they felt they didn't want to have extra height down there with McKelty, so they put him up around the ball. And he was just bashing and crashing, getting the ball moving forward. And I know a few people have sneakily suggested in the past that maybe there's a wing or an on-ball role he could just rotate through and cause some carnage. I wouldn't mind seeing it, to be honest. It's something a little bit different. He's an absolute brute of a human being. But yeah, that's a pretty good game. And I think he's putting his hand up as well to come in some capacity. Would love to see him kick a few more goals, but again, it's kind of a bit difficult to do that when he's actually playing around the defensive 50 stoppages and the wing stoppages, so he's not exactly in A1 position to score, but I'm really liking what I'm seeing from him. Liam Fawcett kicked a goal, had 11 disposals, 5 tackles, 3 marks. That's a much improved game from last week. Jacob Kazitsky, 10 disposals, 5 marks, 1 tackle. Again, doing a really, really good job down there, to be honest. Hayes Brown, 10 disposals. What do you have? 20 hit-outs, 6 clearances. Kalina, 8 disposals, 3 marks, 13 hit-outs, 2 clearances. Jacob Bauer, 1 goal, 7 disposals, 3 marks, 1 tackle. I know that stat line doesn't read flash, but I actually didn't mind Jacob's game. He was actually doing a lot of the 1%ers and the small team things really well. Like, he wasn't trying to sit on everybody's head every contest. And that's 2 weeks in a row now that he started to play a bit more like that. So I do appreciate the way he was playing. Rosa only had the 4 disposals, which was a little bit quiet, but 6 tackles. But unfortunately, the real shit negative stories of the day was obviously Juddy, Clarke and Campbell Gray both going down with knee issues. Campbell Gray's looks a little bit better, hopefully. I mean, scans will obviously reveal all of that in the coming days. And Juddy Clarke, I mean, prior to that happening, he'd had 8 disposals, 3 marks, a clearance, kicked a goal from 50 on the run early days and was looking $1 million and was looking like, again, smashing down the door for selection and probably had every right to be playing AFL yesterday, as did Campbell Gray. But they were out of Beaconsfield on what was maybe not a designated VFL surface, but it obviously passed the QA checks to be used for the game. But yeah, I mean, the reaction on Juddy Clarke when he went down was just absolutely devastating. And I know scans haven't come back in yet, so we don't want to assume or say that it's definitely what we all think it might be. But geez, I hope he gets the Sam Darcy outcome and it's not the ACL. That would be an absolute cruel blow. And he's obviously very young and got time on his side. And I really hope we can get behind him, whatever the outcome might be, and nurse him back to football. But just feels shithouse for him, given they were both playing. Well, Campbell was playing great AFL level football and probably shouldn't have been dropped. And Juddy, was on the verge of coming back into the side. It was just really, really bad. And you could see it took the wind out of the sails of the VFL players. And I'm not sure if that filtered down to AFL level or not. But yeah, that was a shit note to finish the game on, to be honest. But look, a 5-point win. It's another 4 points. And look, yeah, like I said, Jacob Blight, Rioli, Alger, Lafau, definitely all putting their hands up to get some senior football soon. We've obviously got the bye at AFL level this week. So we'll have to wait another week before we see any of them. But yeah, hopefully they can keep putting in some really, really strong performances and we can see them post the bye. But let us know what you think in the comments below. Do you think those guys are ready to come back in? Can you see them playing post-bye? Keen to hear everyone's thoughts. And I'll see you for the next one. Go Tigers.